What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker here on Unique Access, and today, for Best Albums, we're joined by AD from Compton. Thanks for coming through, man.
No problem, man. You already know.
Yes. So, AD has selected one of his best albums, one of his favorite albums, Kanye West, Graduation. So, man, you're from Compton, known as a gangster rapper.
Yeah.
Had all kinds of high-profile stuff with Game and others.
Yeah.
How is Kanye West Graduation one of your best albums?
At the time when I heard it, it just like really inspired me. Like, I don't know, it's just like it made me want to be a champion.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. I mean, Kanye is one of the artists who always like push the boundaries and stuff like that. You know, He does his own thing. He doesn't do what everybody else does and stuff. So, I mean, when I first heard that album, I was like, man, like I was wrapped up into it.
Now, this is his third major label album, and he had obviously had so much acclaim setting up to Graduation. So what were you looking at for his career, and what were you expecting when Graduation was coming out?
I think one thing is artist, period, you know what I'm saying? As a fan, you don't want to be let down. You don't want to be let down. So,
right.
I mean, from coming from college dropout to late registration, I mean, that set the bar. And then
very high. Very high.
And, you know, I was really big into art, too. I used to really draw and stuff like that. So when I seen the artwork for it, too, as well, it just, like, blew my mind as well also.
And you got it tatted.
Yeah, I got it tatted. You know, instead of the K, I got an A. I ain't putting a K on me and shit, but, you know, I got the A and stuff like that. But that's how much I love the album.
Right.
And I just, you know, I mean, still to this day, I still can listen to that all the way through. No.
Now, this, the lead single was Can't Tell Me Nothing, right?
Yes.
So with that was very surprising for me because a lot of his songs leading up to that were very melodic. You could see the potential as far as like a pop type of crossover type of thing. And Can't Tell Me Nothing was so dark sonically, and it had the Jeezy sample, and it was just like, it was very atypical for what Kanye had done up to that point for his singles especially. So when you first heard that song, what did you think?
Honestly, it had to grow on me.
Okay.
Yeah, that one had to grow on me. It was when I heard Stronger.
Okay.
That was like, I don't know.
You were like,
I was like, man, just those sounds, and people use it now, like, you know what I mean, the synths and the pop sounds and stuff like that, and you know the video, but like just that one took me over the edge.
And that also, again, is very different from Kanye in the sense it didn't have the soulfulness to it. It didn't have that, kind of the classic old school sample as well that he had been doing through a lot of his career. So what, as his elevation continued and everything, like what did you see from him differently that he was doing that made an impression to you?
Are you talking about the album, or are you talking about in general?
Well, just was Stronger and Can't Tell Me Nothing in particular.
Oh man, Stronger, Can't Tell Me Nothing, The Glory, Flashing Lights, like everything, like sonically, the whole album like flowed together. So like I said, Can't Tell Me Nothing, it grew on me.
Right.
I mean, just hearing it by itself, it was like, okay, it's a good song. Because, you know, I'm a fan. So I'm a fan, I like everything. I don't care. You can't do no wrong until you do wrong. But sonically, from start to finish, as a whole body of work, everything sounds amazing together. And it made me like this song 30 times more.
Right. And then Good Life?
With the PYT sample, it's amazing.
Right. And then that one is even a little bit of a foreshadowing, I guess you would say, to what he would be doing with T-Pain later. But with that song in particular, I thought it was interesting that he had brought these different elements with the album of having kind of the darker sound and being more depressed or frustrated or angry, and then on that one it's a total polar opposite.
It's a good life.
Right.
Love it, man. Love all of that. But the samples, man, I'm a big sample guy.
And what is it about samples that appeals to you? You know, in your music, you have a lot of samples on your mixtapes and stuff.
I mean, I feel the 90s is like the golden era of hip-hop for sure. So, I mean, any way I can, like, recreate that type of feeling, I want to put that into the world today. I think, like, a lot of artists, you know what I'm saying, they don't know, like, you know what I mean, where they came from and stuff like that, and what our parents used to listen to and our grandparents and stuff. So I even go back to the 60s and then the 70s and listen to stuff like that.
Right. And then for Graduation, lyrically, we talked a lot about the music, but in particular, lyrically, what did you think he did special, whether it's on a song or overall with the album?
I mean, to me, Kanye is a genius, period. I mean, lyrically, he's always gonna hold his own and stuff like that. I mean, but you know, just as putting everything together, and I know as far as him being a producer as well too, like producing mostly all your music, rapping, you know what I'm saying, you're creating every single thing.
Right.
You know, as far as artists, I don't make no damn beats. You know what I'm saying? So I mean I'm pretty much like, if you tried, I don't know if artists ever tried to make beats and stuff like that. That's not no easy thing. And for him to make amazing beats,
right, and rap,
yeah, because you know sometimes it's either you have it or you don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
You either are a great producer, you're not a good rapper, or you're a great rapper and you're not a good producer. And like for him, he was a total package. And he, I mean, look at him now. He changed the game.
Yeah.
He do what he want to do.
Yeah, and I think this is something he had done even before he put out College Dropout, but he always was willing to turn the mirror and point the finger at himself and look at some of his shortcomings, and he did it very well on Graduation as well. Especially with Can't Tell Me Nothing, which also impressed me that was the lead song, and he was talking about acting more foolishly and like buying things and doing this negative stuff for himself. That, you know, I think a lot of artists, when you show vulnerability, that's how you connect with fans. For yourself as a musician, but then also as a fan, does it mean something extra, or what does it mean when an artist shows you some vulnerability?
It just shows that they're human. You know what I mean? And everybody wants to relate to you in some kind of way.
Right.
I mean, if a kid can relate to you and say, you know what, I have a chance to be like you. And I feel that's really important. So, I mean, you know, people think you're down to earth, they're going to connect with you more.
Right.
You know what I mean? When you give out the persona that you're hired in life, you know what I mean? People feel like they don't have to support you.
Right.
Oh, somebody else will buy his album. Somebody else will do this. You know what I mean? But I mean, for me, like you said, Kanye has always talked about his, you know what I'm saying, his struggles, and you know what I mean, it just shows he's human, and it's like anybody can connect with that.
The most popular artists and the ones that become, that have huge followings, whether it's commercially or underground, it's because the people can identify with what they're saying.
Yeah.
And Kanye, especially on Graduation, as well as some of his other better material, shows a lot of vulnerability.
The first song I ever heard from him was Through the Wire. I remember I was watching them BT and the video came on, and I watched the video and I was like, wow, this guy really struggled to get to this point. Right. And you know, at the end when they give him the Rockefeller chain and stuff, right. It's like you wanna root for that type of person and stuff like that. And you know, just everything, man. Like, and people, they like, man, you make gangster rap music and stuff like that. How is this your favorite album? But I mean, he inspired me.
Okay. Also, Graduation, since it doesn't have that many guests, and in the last 15, 20 years, rap albums have had so many guests on almost every album. Why did that stand out, or why did that make a difference to you? To
me, that really shows what an artist can really do. You're not dependent on nobody to carry a song. So, I mean, usually when artists create records and stuff like that, it's easy to put a hook on something, a verse, and then just throw that up on here, and then, you know, relying on somebody else and stuff. But like I was saying, the Daft Punk, merging that together, it was like you merging two different worlds, and making. Back then, I didn't even know who the fuck Daft Punk was. You know what I'm saying? I was like, who the fuck is these people with these space helmets on and shit? Right. You know what I mean? But I did my research afterwards, and then I listened to their shit. I was like, man, this is next level. It's not like, you know what I mean? Sometimes, like, especially when you're in the hood, your mindset on music, you're in a box.
Right.
You know, you don't, you know. I remember I used to listen to all kind of shit. Like, I bought a fucking Beach Boys fucking song from iTunes. Okay. And you know what I'm saying? The worst thing is playing shit on shuffle and you're around all your guys. And then a song like a Beach Boy song come on, they're like, did Apple put that on there? It's like, nah, I like this shit. Right, you know what I'm saying? But they don't understand, like, coming where we come from. So, I mean, I always do my research. Mm-hmm. And, you know, then I get a love for all that, too. Even be like, I was around Dre and Exhibit and listening to the catalog of the music that they listen to.
Yeah, it's a different world, man.
It's different. Like, you know, the John Lennons and everyone else. Like, I would never think that's what inspired them to
do what they do.
Do what they do.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You know, obviously, you were on our radio show, Bar Radio with Exhibit, that we had on K-Day several times.
And
That's one of the things that's great about music, and then Kanye shows on Graduation, is that rap is the one form of music I think more than any other that incorporates everything.
Everything.
And I've learned that over the years because growing up, I didn't. My dad mainly listened to the Beatles and Bruce Springsteen and Bob Dylan and a bunch of people of that nature. So for me, when I started understanding that rap was being sampled, I had to go, for the most part, and listen to everything backwards. Be like, oh, I knew who James Brown was, but I didn't know his catalog like that.
Well, look at Tupac.
Yeah.
If you look at all the songs Pac made, if you read the credits, the samples are just endless on there and stuff like that. So, I mean, even for me, that's why I like doing samples. And, you're taking a piece of culture from a different time and you merging it into yours.
Right.
So.
And Kanye did a great job of that on Graduation. That's why it's one of AD's best albums. Graduation, Kanye West. Thanks for coming through, AD.
No problem, man. You already know.